Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Astroneer series. Today we pick up where we left off in the previous episode. We just finished unlocking this gateway. We're just going to pick up our little odds and sods here and get back on the wagon, so to speak. Best get yourself strapped in and put your comfy astronaut helmet on. We are going to be covering a lot of ground today. Now, this is the first episode I've made since commencing my Glitch Walkers series. Understand that the two are completely separate series. I may end up progressing into Glitch Walkers with this series at some point. But for the moment, this series is only about exploring and completing the default solar system. So, with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get back into the action. Okay, I seem to be coming across a lot of new and different things that I don't think I've come across. This definitely, I have never seen one of these before. At a guess, I'd say it's meant to be some sort of loading or unloading dock. There is a lot of power connection points on it, and there are ramps up and down, so yeah, if anyone wants to leave a comment down below about what they believe that this is actually used for, it's quite a ways from my base, so I don't know that I'll ever get plugged into it. That said, though, the roof does appear to be a solar panel, and I imagine it will produce a lot of power. Although, on reflection, if it were providing power, that floodlight up there I would expect would be on, unless it's been turned off. I might have to check that out next episode. Didn't occur to me at the time just to test that floodlight to see if it was off and it could be turned on. Most of the time they default to on, so that's probably why it didn't occur to me, but I'll come back and revisit that little structure in a future episode and see what I can make out of it. In the meantime, we're heading back to base to unload our bounty of science so we can get our little science unlocking thing going on. Gotta love it when I've been recording episodes all weekend and suddenly words start to fail me. Oh, don't get old. Yes, we're going to unlock everything that we have here for science and for other reasons. We're going to clear things out so that we can head off and look at unlocking the remaining surface gateways on Sylva. That's the mission that we were allocated when we picked up that little blueprint off the loading and unloading dock, or whatever you want to call it. Looks like there are some other structures that we need to get blueprints from, but of course they're all spread out amongst the solar system, so I imagine we'll try and include those in our itinerary as we go to each of the planets, just to make sure we can tick all the boxes as we go. We're just about done with our unload. In fact, yes, we are done. We are going to just dump a few odds and sods out of our backpack, and then we're going to hit the road and see if we can get down to unlock the remaining gateways. I inadvertently provided a demo of what happens when your generators run out of juice, while you're mid recharge of the gateway. Basically, it just resets slowly, and there's not much you can do except get the correct amount of power back up and running, and then away she goes. So, yeah, if you're using a similar method to me, which relies on generators, just make sure you've got a bit of green matter to spare just in case. Just taking a moment to remind myself which ones we've got left. Obviously in this game I haven't been to the core of the planet yet. Looks like we've got 2 nodes left. One on the equator and I think the South Pole. Can't remember which one it had, but we've only got the 2 left. Actually, it might be the North Pole now I think about it. We're just going to, rock our best tractor action here and head over to the next gateway. It's just going to be another rinse repeat, hook up the generators, get it unlocked, and then move on. Yeah, the tractor works all right cross country until you run into these great big honking boulders and trees. That's pretty much where you end up getting stuck. So that's why I try and stick to the plains as much as I can. But inevitably, to save time, you do end up needing to go cross country through the forest occasionally, and that's where you're potentially going to be doing a little bit of digging yourself out and making a path through the trees so that you can not get stuck. And there we go. Path has been created. Those research samples, they're the ones that you can find at the bottom of some trees. They're not too bad. I think they're slightly more science than the ones that you find in like the top part of the tree. But I don't have a lot of room on my tractor at the moment, and I've found a few treasures so far, and I'm kind of content to just enjoy what I've found and move on with the whole activation of gates and get back to base ASAP. That's a nice little find. A medium wind generator and a small one. So, not going to say no to those. There are never enough of those around because anything that you think is overkill, you can always take with you to other planets where inevitably you're going to end up having power issues as well. So, yeah, never say no to a generator that's in distress. That's a bit of a shame. I thought I was actually going to get that one sorted with just wind power, but as always in Astroneer, your source of power, if it's, the wind or the sun or something, often it'll get interrupted while you're getting a gateway unlocked. But yeah, that was a pretty nice effort. So that's the last of our surface gateways now unlocked. We are going to head back to base, get some more research sorted out, and then we are going to start our planning for what we're going to do next. Yeah, I was going to give that research sample a miss, but then there's all this other research on the ground as well, and I thought, you only live once. We're going to hook up some generators to this, and we're going to get it unlocked. I was hoping it was just the single power source type unlock, but it wants a certain amount of power, so you just hook enough generators into it, and it will eventually unlock and release its delicious piece of research that it is holding. Yep, there we go. All done. We move our generators back to our tractor, and then we are right to move on. Alrighty, back safe and sound. Time to unload. We're basically done with the buggy for now, so we're gonna incorporate our generators that we picked up into our normal power grid. Uh, Honestly, as much power as we can get, I'm happy to utilize. Whenever we're still based on Sylva, there will be times where we're, printing big chunky things that take tons of power to print. Other times it won't matter. It will be just the researcher ticking away in the background. As you can see, all of our batteries are full, so we obviously have enough power to keep the researcher going and some to spare. And that's generally the way I like it. We may get to a point where we want to fire up a second researcher, but for now, I've only got enough samples to keep the one going. And to be honest, I would rather be using those resources to set up a researcher on a different planet where I get a lot more science per sample. Sylva is about as low as it gets as far as the reward from researching any given sample, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to do anything more than what you need to get your basic unlocks going and get you out into the universe. But look, results varies. In previous games, I've gone hardcore with research on Sylva. I've picked up every one of those rocky samples. I picked up all the ones out of the trees, under the trees, and you can get a ton of science that way if that's the way you want to go. The kind of advantage of that approach is, I guess, you've got easier access to materials, and there is a lot of wind generators and things lying around on Sylva. So you can get a pretty decent setup going without ever needing to actually, print any of the generators yourself. So, look, if it works for you, I say go with it. Now, speaking of power, literally about an hour and a half ago, I did this in my recording of the fourth episode. Yeah, the fourth episode of the Glitchwalker series, which I believe should go live before this one. I unlocked the couple of easy missions. The one involving unlocking the dynamite, and yeah, this one here, the Advanced Explorer Kit. The reason being is it gives you another RTG. And honestly, as I said in that series, I'll say it again in this series, the more RTGs you can get your hands on, the easier your gameplay is going to be. And when you can get them for mission rewards for missions that only cost you a few science points, it's well worth the investment. So, we're going to waste no time other than fumbling the positioning of this RTG. We're going to get it hooked into our network so that we can get the benefit of its power. Yes, I've just finished telling everyone about how I actually have an excess of power at the moment, but there is no such thing as too much power. Anyway, we've reached the end of this episode. I want to thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.